And so I continue the channel's time-honored tradition of taking a look at a brand new figure months after the fact, when it's already old in internet years, by taking a look at Missing Link Optimus Prime. Now, the reason I have the box back here is to make it abundantly clear that what we're looking at, I need to adjust the white balance more. What we're looking at here is the C02 Missing Link Optimus Prime. This is the one that is animation colors and does not come with the trailer. And I want to make that abundantly clear because there are definitely some differences between the two, not the least of which is the presence of a trailer, or absence of one in this case. So, yeah, let me get this out of the way because it's just for illustrative purposes. But basically, the reason I went with the C02 version of Missing Link Optimus Prime rather than the, was it C01? I don't know, whichever, I forget the number on it. But basically, the reason I went with this one is specifically two things. First and foremost, because it didn't come with a trailer. I specifically wanted this because no trailer, which made it significantly cheaper. And also, I've said this before, but for anyone who hasn't watched older videos with Prime figures, I don't like Prime trailers most of the time because they don't do anything. They're just a box that gets in the way. Now, there are exceptions, like Cybertron Optimus Prime, turns into armor for super mode, or Armada, specifically Legacy Armada Optimus Prime, because it turns into super mode. But when it's just a box that unfolds with stuff in it, I do not like those. So being able to get this figure without having to worry about that trailer just gumming up the works, getting in the way, fantastic. The other reason why I went with this one over the Toy Colors version, even though I definitely have, there are things about the Toy Colors version I really like. I like the blue windows. I know that there's this whole accuracy thing involving these windows being blue versus the Toy Colors version being like a kind of smoky gray. I just like the blue windows better than the smoky gray. I know it's not accurate to the G1 toy, but I never owned the G1 toy. I owned G1 Ultra Magnus, so my exposure to G1 Optimus Prime was through the core Ultra Magnus figure that he came with. But I like the windows on this. I like the fact that it doesn't come with a trailer. The thing that stinks is this one, and I'll get into it in a minute, but this one, because it's the animation colors, it's missing a lot of the really cool paint apps that the Toy Colors version has. That's something that I really wish, I wish the toy version was available without the trailer, because I would have gotten that probably, because certain details, you could see down here, I did apply the stickers on this guy, and I'll get into that too, that they actually include a sticker sheet with this guy, which would have been nice to know ahead of time, but there's this whole pre-order canceling and then reissuing, redoing pre-orders thing. But basically, they include stickers for this for the Toon version, which is fantastic. But the Toy Colors version, this stuff is actually painted, and that looks spectacular. But I'm not spending over $100 for a trailer that I don't want. So yeah, but with all that out of the way, after almost 4 minutes of me rambling about stuff, here we've got Missing Link Optimus Prime Toon version with stickers applied, and this thing is glorious because it's just G1 Prime. You can really feel the die-cast in it too, especially the toes I'm pretty sure are die-cast because they've got that kind of sheen to them, but also you can feel the coldness. Same goes for this piece up here, which was die-cast in the original from what I remember from Magnus. Also, looking at the way this is put together, it makes me wonder if someone were to get both versions of this figure, would you be able to swap the windows? Because they don't feel like they're glued in. I think they're snapped in. But anyway, yeah, this chunk here is die-cast as well. You can also see there is a matrix chamber, which has been added for the Missing Link version, and it can actually be removed. It's frictioned in, so it's a little tricky to remove. I ran into this problem before, but you just got to leverage it out. It's not glued in or anything. It's just this whole thing is a separate piece, so if you wanted to, you could just take it out and have a more, in this case, I guess, toy-accurate Optimus Prime, in that he's got the little Diaclone pilot seats in there. but this does friction in to give him the matrix, and yay, another prime with a matrix. But hey, it's fine. With this one, I at least understand, because even though the toy never came with it, it's meant to be like a very this is the G1iest of G1 homages, so I understand. But yeah, the matrix is in there. It looks good, painted well, pops out. It's definitely less of a pain to remove than some other primes I've looked at recently. And that is that. You've got the rub sign on top, which I believe is still does the heat activated thing. I am not particularly toasty today, so it's not coming through that clearly, but you can kind of see the Autobot symbol. Yeah, aside from that, it's one way you can tell it's not a G1 original is because the paint and everything looks really good. The chrome's not chipped. I do like, though, that they painted a little bit. Like this gray going along here, the stripe, that is actually painted. That comes on the figure. There is also a Tampographed Autobot logo underneath this sticker, but I applied the sticker because I thought if I'm applying other stickers, I want to make it a little bit more universal. And also the stickers back here. I don't mind the addition of stickers. I just wish the stickers were better. Like, the quality of the stickers seems fine, but in particular on the knees, like, it's difficult to tell. But basically, the way that these stickers are designed is bad. Like, just it's straight up bad. They do not actually fit properly. Granted, I do have this one on crooked, but like, the stickers don't sit right. The space that they're designed to inhabit is not, like, the dimensions don't match. I need to get I shouldn't have done this on camera, but oh well. I need to get my tweezers. Specifically the knee stickers, this is just already going so bad. I really wish that these stickers were thought through a little bit better, because you can see, like, it ends up curving down here if you try and get this more flush so that these aren't sticking out over the top, making them really easy to accidentally knock out of position. But then if it's curving down there, that makes it easier to accidentally pull up from, down there. So it's just a whole bunch of why. The stickers themselves, the quality seems fine. It's just the cut is not good, or not as good as it could be. But I think I, at the very least, have these looking a little bit more symmetrical. So that's something. This is, again, primarily it's an issue with the knee stickers, which, I mean, big surprise, this is the robot mode knees. But it also comes in with, like, the forearm stickers and stuff, which is just something that I really wish that the toy version was available as just the trailer, because I would have really preferred having those details painted in rather than using stickers. But maybe we'll get a repro label set in the future that fits all of this a little bit better. I would totally be down for that. But yeah, aside from that, it looks like a G1 Optimus Prime. The plastic, the chrome, the rubberized tires, which hopefully will hold up over time better than the actual stuff they've been using for, like, other rubberized parts in Transformers toys over the years. I think supposedly they got that figured out, but I don't know. It does kind of stink that there are these ugly sprue marks on the back here, which would be covered up if I had the version with the trailer and was using the trailer, but, it is what it is. Thankfully, I don't really see those sprue marks on other parts of the toy all that prominently, so it's just the backs of what will become the legs, but those are a little unsightly. But oh well. Now let's just kind of move on, because I feel like this is a real mess. Really, my videos are always a mess, right? So, size-wise, he is, I believe, just about the same size as a G1 Optimus Prime or the G1 Optimus Prime mold. I don't actually have a G1 Prime mold to do a comparison with, but we've got our usual size comparisons along with Burnout for a modern deluxe. And bringing these two closer, let's get these out of the way here. Bringing those two closer together, they are, there is a size difference. Prime is a bit bigger, Burnout a bit smaller. but Prime also is like noticeably heavier. This weighs like this weighs about as much as I'd say like 3 or 4 of these, just because of all that die cast and stuff. But yeah, that's how those measure up. And then just for the heck of it, I've got a couple more truck cab primes for comparison. So here is Missing Link Prime with Holiday Prime. Holiday Prime is a noticeably bigger cab, but again, this is significantly heavier. And then an even more significantly bigger cab, we've got Legacy Armada Prime, which is just gigantic compared to this. But that's part of this design. And then to round everything off, let's do a little bit more here. So finish up our size comparisons and get the most important one out of the way last. Here is Missing Link C02 Convoy. I believe that's C02 Missing Link Convoy. I don't know. Whatever the official name is with the duck tank. Okay, before we do the transformation into robot mode, obligate Patreon and coffee shill time. Links to both down in the description as well as at the end of the video. It's a way to support the channel if you'd like to do that. Otherwise, you can also support the channel by doing the typical like, comment, share, subscribe YouTube stuff. Now, to transform this, it is basically G1 Prime with a couple of little added steps, which I'm sure is no surprise to anyone watching this because this guy's been out for a while and a lot more channels have done videos on him at this point. But to start, I want to pull out the hands, arms, whatever, and just this section here pivots out. It just rotates out like so. And then as that rotates out, this can also rotate out just like G1 Toy. One difference being, well, first of all, there's a tab here that tabs into the inside of the forearm, but also, as you can see, the fist is attached. So instead of the fists just coming out of the headlight section, like this pop off, pop in, it's built in here and it like tucks in. So now you just rotate that out. And there is one arm. So we'll put that up and out of the way. Other arm, same deal. Just want to pull and rotate this out. Bring that out. Flip out the fist. Straighten that out, and there we go. Now can, of course, want to flip up the head plate, and it just kind of tabs over. There's this little notch and button peg thing right here that this sits over, and it does sit relatively snugly, but like the friction on this hinge is also pretty snug, so I don't think you really have to worry about that coming out. Now, for the legs are a little bit more complicated. You want to take these wheel sections, and they actually, I should zoom back in here, the wheels actually tab in up here, so you want to pop those out. There you can see where they tab in. Pop those out, separate the legs, say peg together here, and then you also want to separate this section. It's on a slider because you can see there's this tab here that sits in front of the thighs. So if you want to bring the thighs down, first you at the very least want to angle them out and then rotate them. So do that, just angle it out, rotate it down, angle it out, rotate it down, and then we will slide these apart. And the first time I did this, it was pretty rough and I had to use a spudger, but it should be okay now. Just slide and it will click. It doesn't lock in as tightly as I'd like. I kind of wish that like something back here could maybe fold in to shore up that thing, because it's not, like, it's fine. I feel like it's not going to pop back in on its own if I'm, as long as I'm not like too forceful with it, but like I do wish that locked in place a little bit more secure, like could be braced somehow, basically. But anyway, with that done, can now bring the wheels back down. You can peg them in if you want. I prefer to leave them untabbed as sort of like hip skirts. And just gonna give those thighs a little rotation for the sake of posing. And then bring up toes. And that is it. That is Missing Link Convoy, or Optimus Prime, however you want to call the figure. in robot mode. And if you're not doing any of the posability stuff, if you're just like, you know, stock transformation type stuff, then you're looking at basically G1 Prime. This needs to come in just a little bit more. Give him that like really awkward stock straight pose. So yeah, you basically just got G1 Prime with a little bit more decoration, I guess, and not as destroyed by the ravages of time. And that is cool in its own right. Like the chrome works, the different colors that are being used here, like the dark blue works. It's all like it's classic Optimus Prime, so there's no real deviation in terms of color. I think like the stripes maybe might be a little different, but yeah, it's Optimus Prime, and it's neat in that regard. Feels good. I kind of am like neither here nor there on the chrome. I will say I've seen videos where some people were having issues with the thigh swivels, and they were tight on this guy initially. And I'm still a little careful to like brace up here when I rotate them, but they're not too bad, and they do kind of work themselves out the more you mess with the figure. It's just something with like I think just the chrome kind of pressing against the other chrome, because you got like the upper thigh and then the lower thigh are both separate pieces. So yeah, it does loosen up over time though. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I put stickers on this guy. Hi, Astrid. Are you going to visit? Is it a kitty cameo video this time? You do have a thing for Optimus Primes. So yeah, normally this guy, what you see is you'll get like, blue in the legs, red in the arms, and all that. But there are stickers on him because I put stickers on him, specifically on the toes. These bits are stickers, the knees, which we talked about. These bits on the forearms are also stickers. I may have put them on in the wrong spots. I don't know. The instructions, surprisingly, were not very clear. And then also in the bumper waist section, I didn't mind putting those on there. I know it's like it kind of interrupts the truck mode, but I don't care. I think it looks good in robot mode. And also the sticker on the arm, but everything else is sticker free. But yeah, he looks good for, being a G1 toy. I don't know what else to say. Now, there's an Astrid tail cameo. Now, the head is needing to be reframed. The head is... It's very Optimus Prime, but it's also funny because it's definitely like, even back in the early days of the toys, they weren't... I mean, yes, of course, they weren't accurate because of engineering limitations, but like, even when it came to head designs, they weren't exactly accurate. So yeah, like this is definitely identifiable as Optimus Prime, but looking at the way his head is drawn in the cartoon, that is not the way his head is drawn in the cartoon. But it does look good. And I know the toy version, the eyes are yellow because toy. Hi, Astrid. Okay, this is officially going in the cat cameo playlist. The eyes are yellow in the toy version, but this is the cartoon version, so the eyes are blue. Do not. I am kind of neither here nor there. I prefer blue on the eyes, but the yellow eyes wouldn't have turned me off. It's just, again, it more comes down to the trailer. No. The accessories are not to be played with. We will be looking at his accessories, by the way. But yeah, the sculpt is good. The coloring is good. I do really like the coloring on this, actually. And something I'm noticing now that I'm looking at this a little bit more closely, which is a little difficult to do with a cat right there. Honey, can you vacate, please? I'm trying to... Come on. Come on. That is the opposite of something I'm noticing, which is which is a little difficult to see, but I actually really like these little like vent details that are molded into the face mask. I honestly don't remember if that's in the G1 toy or not, but I like that detail. And it's not like a paint blemish or anything. You can see it's on the other side too. So I don't know, I think that's cool. But anyway, yeah, the head looks good, the sculpt is nice, the painting is good, it rotates, everything is nice. Now, for the articulation, as you saw, the head does rotate, but like this is why people buy this fig. Astrid! So yeah, as I was trying to say, the reason anyone buys this toy is because of the articulation, because it is G1 Prime. Like, this is as literal G1 with knees as a Transformers toy gets. And I want to, okay, mini rant, but this is blatant G1 nostalgia pandering. It is just right out there. Like, there's no getting around it. This is just, hey, people are fond of G1. Let's do everything we can to fan service that, to cater to that. It is just kind of blatant and disgusting how obvious it is, and I absolutely love it. I want more of this, please. Yes, give us more of this. Now, okay, rant over. Going to articulation, the head, as you saw, can turn. You can use the platform if you want to look up and down, but it looks ridiculous. The arms, as you saw, can go out, but there's actually a secondary joint that allows them to go out from here, so you can actually go up even further. The shoulders can go all the way around. You have clicky elbows that can bend up to, Astrid, do not jaw the camera, that can bend up to 90. You get bicep rotations. The fists can bend in as part of the transformation, but they also do rotate. And you can open the fingers. So there's more articulation there. With or without the wheels in the way, the central assembly is separate, so you can rotate it. You get waist rotation, and it's actually carved in such a way in there, which is kind of difficult to see, but it's carved in a way. It's carved in a way up here that when you rotate, Astrid just jawed my throat, but when you rotate it, it kind of, do not jaw the camera. I'm going to be very mad if you end up messing with my settings or stop recording. Okay? Stop doing that. But yeah, I like that it's carved in just the right way that allows you to get a decent amount of waist rotation out of that. In addition to the waist rotation, you also do get an ab crunch, which is absurd. And I love it, but it's absurd. And it's also kind of difficult to put back, but you get an ab crunch. You can move these bits out of the way. This will not affect the waist rotation because these are on the same, or these don't improve waist rotation, I should say, because they're not, like, they're part of the same assembly. So if you rotate this, it's going to knock into this. So you kind of actually want that in to get more waist rotation. But with these bits out of the way, you can bring the hips out to pretty much 90. It's just slightly under, but that's good. You also, as you saw before, get a thigh rotation that can go all the way around, and it's a little bit snug, but still workable. The legs can go back all the way, as you saw for the transformation, but can also kick forward to almost 90. Then you also get knees that bend quite a bit and are ratcheted. And then the toes can point down, but you can also angle them. So this freaking guy, like, I've said this before, G1 with knees, but like literally G1 with knees. Not that the G1 didn't have knees, but like I love how this guy can get super dynamic while still looking like the G1 toy. It's ridiculous and fantastic. being able to have a G1 Optimus Prime that you can pose and not have him look like just a, stock straight thing. Like, no he's not just a static statue. He's actually got more posability than some modern figures, which is wild, and I love that. Now, for the accessories, so we can really get into the dynamic stuff. He comes with the Energon Axe and the Ion Blaster, and this is going back in the box once I'm done with the video, because I never really cared for the Energon Axe, but he can use it, and Astrid, seriously. So, Energon Axe. Not a fan, but he comes with it, so I gotta show it off. I do like, though, that they have this little door in there that makes it easy to pop on and off. And it just slides over the hand. There's a little peg in there that goes into the fist. So that slides in, and then you close this door around the fist. And there you go. Something that sucks about this is you can't rotate the wrist when the Energon Axe is installed. That I do not like that, because essentially the reason that happens is because this wrist assembly, you can kind of see there's like this bit of rectangular red plastic that sticks out a little bit, and because of the way the Energon Axe sits, this flat edge goes over that red piece. And so, as you can see, as I rotate it, it starts to push down on the fist. Like it unseats itself a little bit. So once this is locked in place, it cannot rotate because of that design. And I don't like that. I really wish that they had done something to allow the wrist to rotate with the Energon Axe attached. That stinks. But it's there. You can put it on his hand and whatever. The Ion Blaster, it is kind of the classic design. I believe this is pretty accurate to the G1 toy. They painted silver in back there, which I like. It's got the two pegs, because I believe this was the original place where he held it from. And you can't really hold it like that here because of the geometry here. Like this doesn't work. I guess you can have him hold it like this. Or I guess another way you could do it is swing his hand in and have him hold it like this, which doesn't look great, but you can kind of hold it like that if you want. But he's got the further back peg that you can peg in, and that's way more typical for, and she's back, for his Ion Blaster. And before we get too far into this, and before I forget, I did check this before. Unfortunately, the Ion Blaster is not Blast Effect compatible. That little bit on the end is just way too narrow for a Blast Effect to sit on it, which it does strike me as a missed opportunity. Not to say that he needed to come with Blast Effects or anything like that, but I feel like it wouldn't have taken much to make that little tip of the gun just a little bit thicker, make it like a 3mm peg so that it could actually use Blast Effects. But whatever. But as I said, like the main draw of this figure is the fact that it can be very dynamic. Also, as neglected to mention, the obvious that you can use the that transformation joint as like a reverse butterfly, which then allows this joint to come in more handy, because like this is a bit awkward, but like yeah, you can do quite a bit with the posing on this guy, and he doesn't look great in the sense that, he's a G1 toy, so he's a little bit like, what is going on here? What am I even looking at? But it's cool because, like, it's a G1 toy that's able to pull off poses like this. Maybe not quite like this. I'm trying to do this just a little bit better. Like a G1 looking Prime, being able to be dynamic in any capacity is pretty freaking wild. And that, I don't know, like, he's proportionally, design-wise, he's definitely weird and goofy because of all of the flaps and whatnot, but like that's from the original toy. I love that he can be so dynamic, and that the transformation hasn't really changed at all from the original design. Yeah, there are a couple of small differences, but like for the most part, the core transformation is unchanged. And oh boy, do I desperately hope they keep the missing link line going. I don't know that they will. As of this recording, there was a leak of G1 Megatron, which I don't think has been verified in any capacity yet, and that was months ago. Also, as of this recording, I want to say a few days ago, there was a leak of a supposed Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, and I want those to be real, but again, not confirmed yet, so who knows. But like, I would 100% get a missing link Bumblebee, because for anyone who might not be aware, G1 Bumblebee was my very first Transformers figure ever. I still have that very first Transformer that I ever got. That G1 Bumblebee that I own right now is the original one that I got almost 40 years ago. Yeah, that is my number one in terms of like just nostalgia, and I would 100% jump on a missing link version of G1 Bumblebee. But I want them to do more too. Like, I don't know how feasible it would be. Okay. Not sure how I feel about the prospect of them trying to do a missing link Starscream, because those figures were like 90% parts forming. But like, you know, I would love a missing link Ultra Magnus, missing link Bumblebee, obviously, missing link Jazz, Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, Mirage, even. Like, you know, do missing link versions of some of those figures that are really difficult to get nowadays, that, you know, or missing link Hot Rod. G1 Hot Rod's toy is actually pretty slick, so a missing link version of that would be awesome. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent when I should be going into size comparisons. And unfortunately, Astrid has settled down, but she has settled down on top of my left arm. So I can't use that. I'm stuck using my right arm only right now, which means size comparisons are going to be a little weird, because I can't effectively straighten out Prime here. He's just going to be in this pose. I apologize, but my arm is pinned. I literally cannot do anything about it right now. I mean, I guess I could disturb the cat, but anyone who has cats knows that you do not disturb the cat. Yeah, she's making this so difficult. Here we've got our more typical size comparisons with Dinobot and Overprime and Samus. So you can kind of see Missing Link Prime is, if you straighten out his legs, he's actually he's about the same height, maybe even a little bit taller than Dinobot. And Dinobot is a tall Voyager, so that's kind of where he sits there. Here is Burnout. As you can see, he is a fair bit bigger than Burnout as well. Bring all of this back in. I think I pushed Prime over a little too far to the side. Oh, this is so difficult to do with one arm and a cat on top of me. Okay. There he is with Burnout. Definitely taller than Burnout. And bring in Santa Prime, Holiday Prime. I still just... transforming this thing again reminds me of just how much I absolutely adore the mold. And it is... I'm almost annoyed that the mold has only been used twice so far. Like, I'm not into the target design that they did for Prime, but like, rather than Scourge, I feel like it would have been cooler if they used this mold, give people another excuse to get this mold, because this mold is amazing. But anyway, here he is with Holiday Prime, roughly about the same height. And since obviously we're going to bring him back in, here he is with Legacy Armada Prime. And I think Legacy Armada Prime, a little bit bigger, definitely bulkier, but, you know, he's he's the core robot for a commander class figure. I think it makes sense that he doesn't really adhere to the more expected Voyager / Deluxe classifications. And oh goodness, she just leaned further back in the crook of my elbow. This is adorable, and I can't reach. Yeah, come here. Come here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Final size comparison. Here he is with the duck tank. And that does it for Missing Link C02 Optimus Prime. This figure is utterly amazing. And it really did annoy me when they announced these two, how, like, again, like, I'm annoyed by the toy deco, which I do really like that they painted in a lot of the stuff that's stickered here. I wish there was a way to get that without the trailer. I wish there were more color varieties with this, basically. I would love it if they did a black repaint of this. I would absolutely get that. Fingers crossed. But anyway, I have ranted long enough, and as you can see, I got my hand back because Diana just came home and Aster jumped off my lap. So I'm free! But yeah, Missing Link Prime is fantastic. He's a little bit clunky in a couple of places, just in terms of, like, again, like that ab crunch is really tricky to straighten out. There we go. Yeah, I love the articulation. I love how expressive this toy can be because it looks like the G1 toy. So it's that interesting mix that I really love. And could not be happier. Real quick, let's bring these guys back. So yeah, he's a little bit shorter than Holiday Prime. Okay, for some reason I thought Armada Prime would be taller than Holiday Prime, but whatever. But yeah, that is him standing up with all these figures. He is pretty much the same height as a tall Voyager, and he's way bigger than Burnout. Yeah, I love what they're going for with this line and would love for them to continue. They just need to actually do that. But that has been enough about what I think of Missing Link Convoy / Optimus Prime. What do you all think of this guy? Whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Thank you everybody for watching, and let's just bring in Bumblebee because I was talking about him earlier. There he is with G1B, and that is, again, my G1 original. That thing is almost as old as I am, and I've had it for that entire time. But yes, thank you everybody for watching, and next time around, we're not going to be looking at anything like majorly collectible, but it's something that's new to me, at least.